speak it though, I speak it though. What's on your mind? What's on your mind is deep though. What's speak it though? We on the air, we on the air. Just take it there, I'ma take it there. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Yeah, I talk about it, but I'm real about it. I speak on it, but don't catch films about it. We can chop it up like it's nothing, baby.
What's going on, everybody? We are back here live here on the OT Radio Show, and listen up, y'all. We got a very, very good show for y'all today. Now, I am bringing on Miss Tieara LeeAnn. She is the author of Understanding Anger. She's a mental health therapist, and she is the host of Rewired Podcast. And when I tell y'all, I guess she just came a perfect timing with all of the drama that is going on out there, especially with what we seen with Will Smith and Chris Rock. You know, OT don't do gossip. Y'all know I don't do gossip. That's not me. I keep it all gotta and keep it all the same. Listen, everybody gotta deal with the consequences and decisions that they make. May everything go well with Will Smith and Chris Rock. And that's all your boy OT got to say about that one. But now our producer says she is on. We are going to bring her on. And guess what, y'all? We're going to talk about mental health because it's going on today in this society, in our community. And why not have this young lady on join us here on the show? So producers, bring her on in and let's get the talking about mental health in the community. And let's talk about her book, Understanding. So she is in right now. Hey, how are you
Hi.
doing today?
Hello, how are you? I am
Now you,
Tieara LeeAnn.
I yes. And listen, do what you love. I see that in the background. I love that. I love that. I
Oh
love it.
yeah.
Now, now, can you go ahead and tell our people where are you from and how did you get started to become this mental health therapist and author? Like you're doing some big things here. So let's talk about that a little bit. So go ahead and tell everybody where you're from and tell a little bit something about you.
Well, I'm originally from Dayton, Ohio, small town. I currently live in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, and my journey with this whole mental health thing has been just very it's been a passionate journey for me because it's been my passion for many, many years. Not only, something that I feel like is personal, but it's something that I also feel like it has had an effect on the whole entire world. So with that, I saw the need for my service and the need for my presence when it came to mental health. Um, you are absolutely right. I just published my book, Understanding Anger. It's now out on Amazon, and I also have a separate website, understandinganger.com. I wrote that book during the pandemic, and I felt like I started with self care, and I do a lot of workshops and I do a lot of work around the community for women and to just promote self care and self love. So with that, I
Mhm.
just was getting a lot of feedback from the men, like, wow, like do you have any products or anything for us? So the book actually is written coming from a male's perspective, and it's just about how to control your emotions and how to know your triggers, and just basically defining anger and not making it a negative thing, but just making it something that you learn how to control and you just learn how to um, work through. So that was my main thing about it. But other than that, I do a lot of work in the community, and I'm working on myself as well.
Listen, I love it. I love it because when you talk about anger, understanding anger is one of the biggest issues that I see that plagues us in our community. You know, with the young ladies, with the young men, even with the older
Mhm.
men and the older young ladies, you know, and anger seems to come out more, how can I say it, more violent now.
Yes.
than ever before that I have seen. And with the state of the pandemic, I think it broke it out a whole lot more,
Yes.
because now people was cooped up in the house with their significant others or with other people, and their brain just started going places. So let's talk about a little bit understanding anger. What are some of the things that our listeners and subscribers and people who are listening, people who want to watch the replay, what are some of the things that they need to understand when it comes down to anger, and some of the things that can help them when you talk about the anger that's getting triggered?
I always say don't let 1 second rob you of 60 minutes of happiness. So,
Ooh.
um, you can't allow, every day is going to be something that triggers you. Every day is going to be something that makes you feel some type of way emotionally. It's all about the way that we sort through those emotions and the way that we um behave after feeling those emotions. So, my thing is, I'm such a calm person. I'm very calm. Everybody always say that about me, and I think I'm calm for a reason because I know when I'm upset, I explode. So just over the years, I just can only talk about what I do that helps me. And my biggest
Mm-hmm.
thing I want a lot of people to learn is change your perspective. Change your perspective of things. For instance, like right now, if I came on, if we've been getting this radio interview together for this long, and we prepared and all of a sudden I don't show up, OT, and you say, wow, like she really played me like that, like um you could change your perspective. You could think of, wow, maybe she's sick, maybe her
Mm-hmm.
internet is down, or it's about changing your perspective. A lot of times, sometimes we put a 10 on a 2, and that
Mm.
causes us to go to a whole different mindset. So I feel like first
Yes.
understand what exactly is the problem, and you have to really know how to properly assess it in order to
Mm-hmm.
to display those emotions and just put them out there. You can't just expect for people to think how you think. You're gonna always be
Mm-hmm.
upset if you think like that. So I tell people all the
Mm-hmm.
time, everybody is not the same. Everybody don't think like you. So you have to change your perspective in a lot of situations to avoid being angry, frustrated, confused, disappointed. Change your perspective, and even if you don't feel like that, you could kind of trick
Mm-hmm.
yourself into feeling a little bit better about the situation if you just change the way that you look at it. So
Mm.
that's my intake on anger, is just changing your perspective.
Mm. You know what? That's a good one. That's a good one because you know what? You are absolutely right. We put tens on things that are twos. Like, oh, person got angry because, oh man, my tire got messed up and the person wasn't there to do my damn tire. Now I got an attitude because now I got things to do. That's really not a 10. That's really like a 2. You can go somewhere else and get it done. Like, I
Hmm.
understand that. I understand that. And I'm glad that you say they're calm and collective because I'll tell you one thing. Uh, I just started being like that. I ain't gonna lie to
Really.
you. I just started being calm and collected because I've realized something that if it don't affect me 2 years from now, don't matter to me. What
Mm-mm.
is it? Right?
For
Words,
sure.
people can have words. People could have, you know what I mean, could say anything. Like I always say now, as long as you don't put your hands on me, we good. You can say anything you want to say.
Hmm.
Why should I put my anger or why should I be around as a person said the circus and I'm in your circus having fun with you entertaining your bull crap, basically.
Exactly.
So I feel you on that one. I feel you on that one. Now let's talk about the community and the state of the community because right now I know you're doing a lot of work in the community. I know you offer services in the community. Let's talk about that now with the day and age of our kids. Right
Hmm.
nowadays, you see the kids, and I'll be very frank and very honest because I'm very honest when it comes down to this. Kids have no sense of communication skills
Hmm.
nowadays. Their communication skills is very limited, right? Some of the kids and I'm not going to say all, I'm just going to say some of the kids feel like you are attacking them when you're having a discussion with them. Why is that now going on in the community? And it's starting to become more relevant. Not like how we grew up, it's starting to become a little bit too much. Why do you think these kids are acting out the way that they are acting out? From let's go into just the mental health of you. We ain't gonna talk about nothing, just the mental health. If you was assessing the situation, what do you think triggered these kids to act the way that they are acting?
I think one, lack of being exposed to environments or conversation that involves working through your emotions or working through problems. A lot of people think that when you're telling them or you're critiquing them about something, they feel like you are automatically saying something to hurt them. And I feel like as adults, we have to display and we have to be example for the youth in order for them to realize and to see that, it's okay to talk. It's okay to communicate with a person without it being cuss words or without it being a big fuss. So I think that's one of the problems is the lack of exposure to adults being able to talk about situations. And B, we live in a society right now where kids are really cruel to each other. They're being picked on
Mm-hmm.
at school. They're being picked on outside in the neighborhood. So a lot of times that's not grooming or building the kid up to be able to take in criticism. It's like, okay, now I've heard people picking on me at school. I've heard people picking on me at the bus stop. Now I come home and my mom or my dad may be saying something, and I'm so quick to feel like I'm being attacked. So it's
Mm-hmm.
just, I think it's about us being able to teach our kids how to express themselves. And when kids learn how to express themselves, they will understand automatically what it is. I feel like what's going on when a person is coming to you about certain situations. So I think
Mm-hmm.
kids need to learn about emotions and how to distort them, how to work through them. They need to learn that, and we need more of that. We need more communicating and more examples, like I said, of just being adults and talking through problems.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% because I feel like once you said that, it's like you know what, she's absolutely right because take the emotions out of everything, right? Because I think there is a lot of emotions when kids are trying to express themselves, they feel like as parents, because I'm a parent, so they feel like sometimes, oh man, you don't understand. But I always tell
Mhm.
my kids, listen, I understand because I went through the same thing you went through, regardless of how
Right.
old I am. Believe me when I tell you, I went through the same things you went through, and we're trying to tell you, like our parents told us, hey, don't do this because this is going to be the consequence that happens. But sometimes, you gotta let go and let them live. But at the same time, as parents, we don't want to,
Mhm.
right? And that causes problems. So I can say, like, yeah, these kids really don't know how to express themselves. They don't know how to take their emotions out of it. And that's one thing that they need to do. Now, let's talk a little bit about you are a mental health therapist. That let's define that a little bit because I think a lot of people take the mental health thing and to me things that are really not a mental health issue. I'm just going to say it, they make it into a mental health issue. So since you are a mental health therapist, lay down some of the things that you would say that is far as mental health uh, issues because I don't think a parent yelling at a kid telling them to wash the dishes. They don't live in a toxic house. The parent just telling them to go wash the goddamn dishes like I told you to. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And kids take that like, oh, I live in a toxic house. But if I'm gonna tell you to wash the dishes and you come home and the dishes not washed, she got every right to have a conversation with you like then I tell you to wash the dishes. So, what are some of the things for as mental health that you can actually pinpoint and say, hey, this is an issue that is going on that is not right, that is not good, or is toxic? Just give us an example.
Um, a good example of a mental health issue. Ooh. I feel like right now with this pandemic, a lot of people are suffering with mental health. I'll use the pandemic as an example because what you have to understand is mental health is not all about misunderstanding, or like you said, the smallest things, like if you're speaking with a person and they don't understand what you're saying, or you're yelling at your kids. Is deeper than that. Mental health is more so on a clinical and psychological level. So that's saying that, okay, during this pandemic, I lost, a lot of people have lost their jobs. They have lost wages, and that has caused them to be in uh, a financial crisis. So
Yes.
when you're in a financial crisis, I don't know about you, but when I'm not getting paid, or I'm not getting any money, I will get depressed. Like
Yes.
that's just
Yes.
me. So
Yes.
you got a lot of people that they don't know how to cope with this right now. They are
Mhm.
shutting off, isolating themselves. They're
Mhm.
either becoming a little bit more overly aggressive. They're becoming a
Mhm.
little more overly negative about
Mhm.
situations. So a lot of times in those situations where you find people that's having these thoughts, that's thinking in a way that can affect them in their everyday life, that's when you could say, okay, this person may have a little mental health problem, or this person may
Yes.
need to um, focus more on their mental health. Mental health is the
Mhm.
same thing as physical health. It
Mhm.
goes hand in hand. That's just like if you see a person and maybe they want to do something, and the doctor may tell them, okay, you may need to lose weight, or you may need to gain weight, or whatever the case may be. That's the same thing with mental health. You're having these type of
Mhm.
thoughts, you may need to see a therapist, you may need to see a
Yes.
psychiatrist, so you can get
Mhm.
prescribed medication to help you maintain and to think clearly. So
Mhm.
like I said, I think this pandemic is a great example of how mental health
Yes.
plays a part in our lives. I feel like everybody, I don't
Yes.
care if we admit it or not, we
Yeah.
went through some form
Yes.
of a mental health crisis through these 2 years.
Man.
I don't know about you, but it has been
Man.
tough. So I can
Yes,
even
it
attest to
have.
that. I can attest to me having been through. I can use myself as an example if you want me to,
You
because
listen.
like I said, I've really been in a place where I'm like, I don't know what am I gonna do with this. I'm having thoughts, and
Uh-huh.
you can become anxious, anxiety. ADHD, where you just
Yes.
can't sit down, you're staying busy, you're not used to being so
Yes.
closed in. Or some people
Yes.
may go through these mania cycles, and they may freak out and just start wilding out, just based off of
Yeah.
this pandemic, and us being so in boxed
Yes.
in inside. So that can cause a lot of stress on a person, a lot.
Listen, you are absolutely right. And will show their true face without the social driven mask. Could you read in the comments? Very much
Yes.
true abilities, communication, and create dialogue of who, what, when, and why. Give these youngins an audience to show their true face without the social driving mask. Okay. Hmm. Interesting. Very
Right, that's a
interesting.
good report.
Yes, yes, very, very. So let's talk about certain things, because I hear a lot of PSD, right? So um and a lot of people don't know what that is, post traumatic depression, and I hear it a lot from military people, right? I hear it a lot from people who have fought in wars or people who have been in the military. But now I'm starting to hear it far as the community aspect of it. Can you break down what is PSD for our listeners and people who are going to be watching replays?
Well, post-traumatic stress disorder, that PTSD comes from being traumatized. A lot. well, I'm not gonna say a lot, but I just know 1 out of 5 people suffer from some type of mental disorder, right? So some
Mm-hmm.
people go through things in life where they become immune to stress. They become immune to dysfunction. And they pick up
Mm-hmm.
these habits of worrying about problems that may or may not exist sometimes. So with that, it's just it's the level of stress. It's the things that we some people worry, some people don't. You know, some people have a system that they have set up when things happen, they may fall back on religion or they may fall back on spirituality, but I know with stress, it's just it comes with overthinking. It can come from many different things: childhood trauma, um, being abused, being sexually abused. You know, it can play it can play a part for a lot of things. So, um, I would break it down to just saying that it comes from, like I said, obsessive thinking,
Mm-hmm.
worrying, and not having those systems in place to control those feelings.
Mm, like that. So, do you think that the state of the community right now, a lot of kids are going through the PSD um, right now when you talk about these kids today in the environment or where they live at? Do you think some of these kids are going through that?
Definitely. Definitely. The environment, I always tell people all the time, what we expose the kids and the youth to, it's important. It's very important because that's how they will go through life and maneuver through different situations. Well, however, whatever they have been exposed to as a kid, those are memories and those are experiences that could never be erased.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just say for the kids, if you find your child in these type of situations or you notice it, get them some type of help as soon as possible, just so they'll learn how to work through those situations.
Absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. And don't be ashamed to go see a therapist or a psychologist. I mean, in our community, we do not like going to go see a
Woo!
therapist or
Oh
psychologist
my
at
God!
all. And I'm going to have to tell you, I was one of them until my mother passed. And that's when I really had to go through one. And when I tell you, listen,
Hmm.
she made me cry to the point of she went back on me. Like, hold up, wait a minute, let's talk about
To your
it. And
childhood,
it,
right?
yes, and I'm sitting back like, oh man, you got to be kidding me. And I'll tell you one thing, a weight was lifted off me that I didn't even know that was on me. Like,
Hmm.
I will recommend people to actually go see a therapist. You go go see a therapist or go see a psychologist, whatever you want to say. But just go see someone to have conversation with, because a lot of times family can't get it. Family can't get it. You know what I mean? Because
They can't.
family members are judgmental, right? Oh, girl, or oh, dude, you just going through what you're going through. It's going to be all right. But you really
Exactly.
don't know. You really don't know.
Exactly.
So,
It's so funny that you said that too. Oh, I wanted to share something. I did. I want to
talk to me.
share today before I came on live. I
Hmm.
was listening to someone, they were having a conversation, and in the
Hmm.
conversation, the person obviously was, telling the other person their problems, and
Hmm.
she was saying, I think I should go talk to someone because I know now that the thoughts that I'm having in my head is not normal, or not like myself, so I think I should talk to
Hmm.
someone. And then the person says to her, You know you crazy when you gotta go talk to somebody." I said, I'm
Wow.
appalled. In my mind, I'm
Wow.
like, that is the worst advice you could give a person. Like the worst. The
Yeah.
worst advice ever.
Yo. See,
That's how
those are
bad the
friends you
stigma
don't need.
is.
Yes, those are friends you do not need. And I'm going to be honest with you. Those are people that you cannot have them conversations with. Because if a person say they think they need help, you need to say, you know what, you need to go ahead and get some help. You feel that way, you need to go get some help. and
Thank you.
I would defriend that person or don't even have conversation with that person because they're not looking
No,
out for your well being. They are not looking out for your
no,
well being because you should always encourage help if the person needed. Period. So, thank you.
exactly.
Wow, that's crazy. That is crazy.
I'm
Well,
still I'm still in disbelief.
like,
I
yeah, me
really
too.
am.
Like, I'm like, why? Why would you even say something like that?
Why
Like,
would you
that's the
say that?
stem. Yeah, yeah. But see, once again, that goes back to the stigma in our community that says, "Hey, if you go see somebody, you must be cuckoo for coconuts, or you must be
It
crazy."
makes people feel like that's a weakness, but this is the thing about
Yes.
therapy. It's not a weakness. It actually shows strength. It actually
Mm-hmm.
shows courage, and it shows that you are really serious about getting yourself together. A lot of people, oh, I'm focused on my goals. I want to get money and da 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 da. And it's just like, okay, your only goal is to have money. You don't want to work on the inner you, your inner self, and the things that you need to work through emotionally and psychologically. That's way more important
Facts.
to get money to me. So my thing
Facts.
is, if a person is going through PTSD, because that's what it sounds like, for me, ear hustling. That's what it sounds like to me. I'm like, okay, it
Uh-huh.
sounds like they having a little PTSD right now in this moment, and you just
Uh-huh.
sat there and like totally like gave them the wrong advice and told them and made them feel like, now if I was to tell a person I'm going to go get some help and they told me and they said that to me, I probably wouldn't even do it because I would be thinking like, wow, are you looking at me like I'm crazy? And it's just like, no, therapy is not like that. Therapy is like having a
Right.
friend, just somebody you could talk to that's not judging you or gonna um look at the situation from a biased standpoint. You want somebody that you
Yes.
don't know you to talk to
Yes.
sometime because they don't know you and they can't base certain information you giving them off of something else. So that's all it
Mm-hmm.
is. Like, when I say I'm the coolest therapist ever, all my clients, they love me. I've been talking to them for years at a time, years and years.
Uh-huh.
And even now I have clients, they would not get rid of me. Like, you are good, like you are safe to go out into the world. They still call me and I'm like, what is it? And it's just like we built a friendship, and it's like that. That's how therapy is a friendship, really, and
Yeah.
that's my technique, and that's how I look at it. Like, just call me if you have a problem, if you want to work through some things. Like I said, I don't really give
Mm-hmm.
advice. I just let you talk, and you talk, and
Right.
you just being able to release is power in that. Being able to get things off your
Yes.
chest, and especially for you guys as black men, that's super important because a lot of times y'all hold on to so much, so many things that people couldn't
Woo.
only imagine. So it's like, just to
Mm-hmm.
have that person where you could come in, you sit down and you just talk. They don't have to say a
Mm-hmm.
word. It's time. I don't say a word. I'm a professional listener. I just sit there and we're done. And by that time, it's like, I know you feel so much better. It's like, really, it's almost like going to the bathroom, doing the number two. After that, how good do
Right.
you feel? How good
Yes,
do you
indeed.
feel every morning when you get off that toilet? You feel so
Yeah.
relieved,
Yeah.
don't you?
Go get. Like, God damn! I think I just lost about 4 or 5 pounds. That
Just
is that
imagine
is
your
true.
mind, just being able to take all that weight off your mind and your brain. We
Oh
need
man.
that.
Oh man.
Come
Listen.
on, y'all, quit
Oh
playing.
man.
Quit playing with the therapy now.
Listen.
Don't play with it.
Oh man.
It's
You are
equivalent
telling the
to
truth.
taking the number
You
two.
are telling the truth. You are telling the truth. Now I gotta ask you, how was your mental? Because you deal with a whole lot of mental of listening. You say you're a good listener, but how was your mental? Because a lot of times we don't ask the therapist,
Thank you.
how
Thank
you
you
feeling?
so much for asking me
How
that,
are you
man.
feeling? How are you
Oh,
feeling?
you
For
you
real.
know what? A lot of people may come on here and they just want to be so professional and all that. One thing about it, I go through my times too, and I think my biggest thing is just what you just said. People don't ask me, "Am I okay?" And that's a problem
Hmm.
for me. My family, my friends, I'm always there for them all the time. But it's just like, when you're that person that's always showing up and you're that person that's always there to support others, they forget that you need that same thing reciprocated.
Yes.
So I battle with
Yes.
that constantly. Like even now, I can't lie, I still battle with that. And I'll be so confused, like, wow, y'all selfish. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all don't care about me. Let me go get me a little martini and I'm gonna see me. I don't play. If I'm feeling overwhelmed, I go out, I go to different places, eat different foods. That makes me feel good, to be able to have a
Uh-huh.
drink, to be able to just sip my wine, light my candles, and I walk every day. I meditate. I
Right.
know that I have to do the things that I could do in order to keep me sane. I can't depend on nobody, really. And now I'm not
Facts.
gonna lie. I have a mentor. And I have that's a therapist,
Good.
obviously. So I talk to her
Right.
all the time, and I know she's like, Tia, you trying to slide in a little free therapy session? I'm like, yes. So I talk to
Yeah.
her.
Right.
I talk to her because I know that she understands. She is going to understand me
Mm-hmm.
more than anybody. So we kind of like balance each other out because she's a therapist. Well, she's a doctor, actually. She's a psychologist. But when we talk,
Mm-hmm.
on a monthly basis, we're able to release with each other. I listen to her, she listens to me, and that has helped me. But in my personal life, like with my family and friends, I don't think they get it. And to me, like I said, I
Yeah.
think that that's a huge problem.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm glad that you do have a mentor because we need you. Believe me when I tell you, we need you in the community. And let's talk about the community. You're doing a whole lot in the community. Let's talk about the beautiful things that you are doing, services that you are offering. So go ahead and talk about that. Listen, Queen, go ahead and strut your stuff right now because you need to go ahead and strut that right there. You need to go ahead and tell
Okay.
folks about this.
Okay, well, one thing about it, I really crown myself on being one of the most influential therapists and active therapists and mental health specialists in the community. My educational background is in social work and psychology. So with the social work, I like to tie in the community because I care about the community. I care about blacks and minorities. I care about us being able to get to a point where we are overlooking stigmas and overlooking this, mentality that has been embedded in us. And
Mm-hmm.
so with that, I've done a lot of things. I have a mentorship program. I love to mentor little girls, children, from ages 10 to 18 years of age. I'm also an anger management specialist, so I am certified to certify others that are having problems with anger management. I just wrote my book, Understanding Anger, which was just a lot. It took a lot out of me, but I'm so, 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 so proud of myself for that because I know with that information, a lot of people will be able to use it as a tool, longevity. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I also have my own podcast where we talk about mental health subjects, we talk about hot topics, and just kind of bounce our own perspective off of each other, and also just collectively. I'm busy. I'm busy. OT. Like one thing about me, I'm pulling up to the mental health events. I am into radio stations. I do a lot of interviews. I do a lot of things.
Yes.
So for me, it's an enterprise, and a lot of people don't
Mm-hmm.
understand that what type of hat I wear. I wear a lot of hats, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm. Right. Fact.
so it comes with it. No, it comes with who I am as a person. So now I'm stepping into a whole different dynamic of me and being able to give more than just the professional side of myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a firm believer. Like I said, I'm all about role model. I'm about role
Yes.
modeling and I'm about setting examples. And I feel like this is for my professionals, especially people who are in this field of mental health or psychology or whatever professional realm. It's going to take
Mm-hmm.
more than just that professionalism to get through to our new society and our new culture. It takes
Yes.
more than that.
Yes.
They don't want
Yes,
us
indeed.
to come off as so conservative all the time and be walking with our ties and suits and stuff. That's not that
That's a
the
fact.
youth. If you're trying to get to through them, it kind of evolves. It involves you being you. And I feel like if you
Yes.
are a role model, and that's how I feel about myself, I live my truth. I'm a role model with
Mm-hmm.
whatever I do, whether I go outside and I'm going to go jog, whether I'm hanging out with my
Mm-hmm.
friends, I'm taking care of my mom. I live it. So it's nothing to
Right.
hide. Now so many people are like,
Fact.
we're stuck in this thing where we have to be in a box and we have to be professionals and we have to you don't have to really do that. Just be who
So
you
don't be
are
you.
and give
Yup.
to the community. You know?
Yup. Yup.
I'm all
That's
about
a
giving.
fact.
I'm
That's a
all about
fact.
giving back.
That
Living your truth.
that is a fact. Now, you got your podcast. Now, I don't want to say your podcast because I didn't already said it. So, for the people who actually want to listen to your podcast, because yes, OT supports podcasts too. So, hey, listen, I ain't no hater. We all got to get some kind of knowledge somewhere. Like, listen, I listen to other podcasts. So, go ahead and tell people about your podcast. And even though you already told them a little sample of it, go ahead and tell people about your podcast and the name of your
Well,
podcast and when it can come talk to you.
Well, Rewired, it is on YouTube and it's on Instagram. You can follow it, Rewired underscore podcast on Instagram, and it is Rewired 2020 on YouTube. So if you would like to check out our episodes, we have 2 seasons, and right now, actually, I am working on a show. So we are
Yes.
headed to the big screen right now, and I'm just excited about that. It's so much more to it than the actual podcast. Yes, Eric Winters, check us out, boo. Um, we we release content weekly, but like I said, right now we're working on getting to the big screen and trying to perfect things. Like I said, I want to.
Yes.
I'm noticing. I'm all about critiquing, and I'm all about making
Hmm.
things um relatable for the people. It's not all of ways
Yes.
about what I'm learning with this business, with filming, radio production. It's not about what we want, or the look that we want, or the sound that we want. It's
Hmm.
about the people. So
Yep.
with me gathering the data and the information from the people, the audience, we're able to now come together and share some exciting things and give a new look. So
Mm.
that's what we're working on right now.
Listen, I love it. I love it. I love it. And we are going to fully support you in your endeavors and everything that you're doing. Now, OT is getting his studio redone. So I'm going to have to get a book. I'm going to have to get your book, signed copy book, put it on my bookshelf. So then when people be watching the videos, they will see all of my
Ooh,
authors that I done had on the show and their books because I am one person. Knowledge is power. Remember
it
that.
is.
Regardless of what you do, knowledge is power. And I like to spread the knowledge to everybody. So I want to thank you so much for coming here on the show during this time because it is something that is happening in the community, it's something that is happening in Hollywood, it's something that's happening everywhere. And mental health is something that we all need to take a little bit step back and ask yourself, are you going through something that you need someone to talk to besides family? And I guarantee you the answer is going to be yes. So I would tell you, if you're in the Atlanta area, I better go ahead and check her out. I better go check her out
Yes.
because
Go
she's a
to
great listener, like you said.
tieraleeann.com. Tieraleeann.com. Schedule you a 15-minute free consultation. I also offer um those, so that a consultation with me would just look like you having questions about therapy. A lot of people are new, they're freshly new to it. And I know we hear things from our family and our friends or just, the
Yeah,
media about therapy. But
yeah,
I feel like the smartest thing to do is just ask. You can
yeah,
call anonymously and just ask questions and just to see, like you said, OT, I commend you on that, for going and getting yourself some therapy and
yeah,
understanding. And now I feel like it's beautiful that you have a different perspective about it, because at first you see the
yes,
stigma that was eating at us,
yeah. I
that
was,
had us um
yeah,
that was stopping us and holding us
yeah,
back from
yeah,
now creating this whole life that is just all about clarity. It gives you so much
yes,
clarity, it gives you so much guidance and direction on your life and control, and we need that. A lot of people,
mhm,
they're spiraling out of control and they don't even see it, and it's just like You
Yep.
have these tools to help you when you're not using it. Sometimes it takes more than a cigarette. You know, it takes more than a
Mm-hmm.
blunt or a beer to help you with your problem.
Yep. That's an actual fact. That is a fact right there. Well, thank you, and thank you for being one of the best therapists that comes to the show and talk about it. Honestly, you
No
know what I mean. And
problem.
you was
I'll
very
come
genuine about it.
anytime.
Listen, and you was very genuine about it, and that's what I love about this right here, because you was very genuine, and I'm glad that your mental is okay, and I'm glad that you have a mentor to help you out, because a lot of people don't know y'all go through a lot, and you're right, y'all go through a
Mhm.
lot, but no one's never be like, hey, what you going through,
Mm-mm.
girl? Because you dealing with all our spirits, our situations, and everything else.
Mhm.
So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And go ahead and tell everybody where to find you at on all the social media platforms and websites.
Okay, you can follow me at Tieara LeeAnn. That's Tieara on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. That's my tag name for everything, all of my social media platforms. And like I said, if you or someone you know wants to get therapy or want to know more about therapy, go on to TiaraLeeAnn.com and schedule you a free 15-minute consultation.
There it is. There it is. Now y'all always be asking. This is why OT went to therapy. Guess what? I'm bringing everybody on. We going to talk about it. We are going
Okay,
to
y'all
talk
see
about these
OT?
things that are. We are going to talk about these things here right now, because we don't get to talk about this often. And I'm glad that you got the podcast, Rewire podcast, and y'all talk about it. And I'm glad
Yes.
that it's not gossip. Like I said, I don't do gossip. Gossip, y'all can have that. I like to talk about things that's going on and bringing people on that are leading the way,
Mhm.
especially in the community, especially in the world. So thank you so much. And do what you love. I love that in the background. I might have to take that from you and get one of those too that you got in the background. Do what you love, because a lot of us are not doing what we love to do. A lot of us are not going doing our purpose, and that is hindering us too. So I would tell people, like I always tell them, live your purpose and do what you love to do. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And you got to come back
No
on. Welcome to the
problem.
family. And I will be ordering my copy of my book. I would like to have it signed, and guarantee you're going to see it up there next time you probably see a show, because we're getting everything remodeled. So we're going to have bookshelves over here. We're going to have a over here, because listen, we all about breathe it in, breathe it out, and let's have some fun on the air. That's what we're about. Here we
Awesome.
go.
Awesome.
All right, well,
Thank you
listen,
for
enjoy the
having
rest of your
me.
day. I enjoyed it, love the energy, and have yourself a good day, and we'll be talking soon.
You too, love. See ya. Peace.
Just see you later. Oh, good show, y'all. This was an awesome show. Listen, there y'all go. Mental health, talk to a therapist. Listen, I need y'all to do that. We appreciate her for joining us here on the show, Whoo, Miss Tara LeeAnn joined us here on the show. Understanding Anger. That's her book, Understanding Anger. I appreciate everybody for listening. Appreciate everybody for joining us. And tomorrow, I got another one for y'all tomorrow. As all my peoples that I talk to, they say, "OT, how can we get government contracts? What can we do to get government contracts?" Well, I'm bringing on Mr. White is joining us here on the show. He has gotten 250 government contracts. And he's going to show you how to get a government contract, subleased it out, and other things. So y'all ask for it. The community, this is what y'all want. Y'all want the knowledge. I'm going to bring it to y'all. So tomorrow I'm going to have on Mr. White, and we're going to be talking about government contracting, getting the contracting and what to do with the contracting and building wealth. So I love y'all. Y'all be good. And I will see y'all tomorrow at 5:15. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and share this right here with your boy OT. Make sure y'all check us out. Thank y'all for watching, and we will see y'all tomorrow at 5:15 with Mr. White, as we're going to be talking about government contracting. So listen, y'all, don't forget, we here. We ain't going nowhere. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.